Well, that was my final attempt at trying to destroy the transmission. The clutch, more so. We're pulling the clutch disc on a 2002 Cabrio, and I thought it would smoke more, but it didn't want to. But all right then. We got a 2002 Cabrio. Apparently this is a 2.5 because somebody states it's got a Gen 3 dash cluster in it, Gen 4 interior, and Gen 4 front end on it. But I don't know that much about these things to tell you whether or not it does or doesn't. So all I know is that I ran the VIN, I got the clutch kit, and I checked the labor guide. So that's where I'm at. And it actually doesn't look that bad. I think all the Jettas and older school Volkswagens, the 2-liter model, are about the same. Once you get into the Corrados, 98s and such, there's absolutely no room in there to work on these things. But this one, take a look at it. I don't even think I'm gonna have to remove the cooling system there. Might have to, but I don't know. Battery tray, battery. Go around to the side there, take off some axles. May or may not need to remove some suspension components on the driver's side. Should be able to just drop the transmission out on a jack, put this side on jack stand, and everything should go well. We are replacing the flywheel and the clutch kit with power torque components. That's what they had. So I have a new clutch disc, new pressure plate, and I don't know what the fuck this is, maybe a throwout bearing. We will find out. I don't think I've done one of these in 15, 20 years. And a flywheel. So if this goes wrong, like, you know, say the flywheel doesn't match up or something, because that's pretty fucking funny looking. Anyway. But if something doesn't line up right, we'll be having a problem in ordering some parts. And that happens, so. Here we go. Let's just start digging in here. Try to get you guys a better angle. Maybe? Nah. That'll work. I got one person watching. Thanks for watching. I don't know how entertaining this will be, but I'm not doing anything else. I don't know about you. All right. I'm gonna run off camera a bunch of times when I go get tools. My tools are just right there in the trunk of that car there. I'm right here. We're behind an O'Reilly in a parking lot. Full disclosure. And then hopefully these guys over here don't fucking start working, because they'll just make a bunch of noise and you won't be able to hear shit. Anyway, hear the birds, and I was gonna have some background music, but I didn't want the whole video to get flagged for copyright reasons. So, you know, I may sing some shitty karaoke during the video. We don't know yet. Yeah, so we're gonna attempt to do this with 2 jack stands, a jack, and whatever I can find in my trunk. So a couple of 2x4s. Well, let's just start yarding some shit out of here. I was gonna have a guest appearance by a couple of different mechanics. We'll see who shows up today. Could get entertaining. Maybe you're just stuck with me. Put these over here. there. So I touched base on this topic with Tony from Nuts and Bolts with Tone. I joined in on his live stream the other day. Usually I'll join in. I just happen to be watching YouTube while I'm driving, and he happened to be live streaming on, I believe it was Wednesday. It's going to be a car that steals my parts. Okay. And he was talking about, they ended up going into diagnosis, and I didn't have time to stay with it, but I wish I would have, because diagnosis is pretty much my strong point there. But ended up talking about different types of tools that you use and things like that, and we touched base on the fact that I don't use any power tools when I'm working on these things. And there's a few reasons. I mean, I have an inverter. I can run power tools if I wanted to, but more times than not, especially on these older vehicles, you'll end up breaking something because you rely on the tool too much. I've seen too many lug nuts get stripped because people don't start them by hand. They just jam them on with the gun and start ratcheting them on. You cross thread something. And so I just try to stay away from power tools. I just like to see what I'm doing, feel what I'm doing, and make sure that things are torqued down right. You can't trust a gun. And maybe it puts out 225 foot-pounds of torque on the lug nuts the first couple of times you use it, and then it sounds like it's putting out 220 pounds of force, but maybe it's 60 after you use it a few times because you bought a piece of crap from O'Reilly. I'm not dissing O'Reilly, I'm saying that the gun that I bought from O'Reilly sucks. So maybe get a higher quality Matco or Snap-on or Craftsman impact gun, or them cordless ones. I'm sure they make some good ones nowadays. I don't keep up with that, and I'm going to when I get the truck done, but yada yada yada. So point being is that maybe it's putting out 60 pounds and your lug nuts are loose now because you didn't go around and double check them. For the sake of speed, on an oil pan or something like that, I'll go through and I'll break all of the nuts loose by hand, and if there's 20 bolts on there, I'll use the drill and just run them out, run them back in, but I'll definitely tighten everything else by hand. So that's kind of the reason why I don't use power tools. Or at least that's the reason why I believe I don't use power tools. That matters. Okay, there is one battery tray bolt hiding under here. We dropped it a minute ago. Battery tray, there's the bolt. 4, set that off to the side. This wiring harness may or may not be in the way. Slides off down there, but I gotta get some slack on it. Let's see. Probably won't work. probably have to use a pry bar. Just jack that up. Gonna have to get the jack out anyway. Might as well hook it up now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna push on the bottom of the clutch cable just to disconnect that, get that out of my way. If that will cooperate. There we go. Some pliers ahead. Seems like the rubber is nice and old. Stick into the middle there. I better get the starter out of my way too. I have something there. Yep, problem. Was working. There we go. Plenty. Not sticking. That's what I was after. Get the lock washer out. Clutch cable. Get this little cable out of the way. There we go. Some electrical connections. You know, I'm gonna mark these electrical connections, even though there's a couple, because they all look too similar. They're slightly different, but in case we encounter one that's exactly the same, we want to go ahead and make sure that we have them numbered. It's just good practice on most things, just to number your connectors, just in case. Okay here. I think this wiring harness is okay here. Go ahead and get the starter out so we have more working room. This wiring harness connected to the starter. I am, however, going to hopefully not break any of these. You know how Volkswagens are with all these pipes are going to break. I'm going to try to tie this up out of the way here. something. Wheel cap. I don't have a fancy cart with a bunch of freaking, I don't have a fancy cart with a bunch of bungee cords and things like that. Just, you know, sometimes you gotta work with what you have. And working out of the trunk, you have to make exceptions. I do. I don't have mechanic wire at the moment. Just use some electrical wire for whatever we need. That'll work just fine. This harness. I'm gonna try to bring you over here. I don't know what you can or can't see here. Try to bring you over. Let's see what's going on here. There we go. That looks a little better, I think. Alright. So I'm in this area here pulling the wiring and stuff. And these old ass connections for this. Remember how these crazy things work. Stay there. Can't currently figure out how to disconnect that, and I don't want to break it, so I'll get this wiring harness out of the way first and deal with that. Starter. Corrosion going on in the wiring here. Starters up there. 2 wires. Horrible. Connector for the starter. Harness here. Should be okay if I just move it over this way a little bit. I'd rather. Broke off, but it's just the connect the harness clamp thing here, clip. I'll zip tie it back in that hole if I need to. And let me get another piece of wire to tighten this out of my way. I mean, obviously, you can see there's a lot of room in here, but try to make life easier. Okay. Ooh, our first guest.
On today's show,
Matt's here to see if I'm doing it right.
dude, that stinks.
It did not smoke like it was like I wanted it to. Oh, this crossover pipe for the heater core. Let's see.
Unplug it.
Nope. It's movable. I think we're good. We got a main cable here for the ground. And so let's start with the starter 2 bolts. And then this crossover pipe is usually bolted with a 10mm on this bracket that goes around the thermostat housing. But it's already been removed, and so I could get underneath here to these bolts, and that should be adequate.
Are you gonna put cinder blocks under the engine?
I'm gonna put cinder blocks under the tires and leave it downtown in Seattle. All right, so we got 17s or 19s. These mains are 19s.
Have fun.
You're not gonna help? Oh, fine. 19s for the main bolts, and a 16 for the starter. Yeah. So far we've used 10mm, 13mm, we're gonna go 16mm, and a 19mm on the transmission. A paint pen, and a few extensions. Now here, I don't want to climb underneath the vehicle, so I'm going to get an extension. Make sure you can see what the hell I'm doing here. I'm right there on the starter. Yeah, I think you can see that. Let me move you over just in case, because I don't want to stand in your way. Hopefully it doesn't rain on my camera here. Under here I can feel the bolt. Feel around. There's also a power steering hose, bracket that it's connected to, lower bolt for the starter. So I'm not going to climb under there right now because I don't feel like it, but I'm going to try to gauge what that bottom bolt is. Bracket's being held on with a 13, so get the nut off of the bracket first. One of the reasons why I tried to get all these wires out of my way. So I got this. I had to upgrade my ratchet, so I got a little longer ratchet, and it seems to get in the way a lot, but it's because I'm used to using a shorter ratchet. But also, I use that in conjunction with that short one again, and a short extension when I can to make up for it. But in a position like this, it's absolutely fantastic to get in there. I guess having a lift to do a job like this would be great too, because then you're not leaning over all the time, but whatever. Okay, this is going to be starter, and see, I already set that one out of the way and forgot about it. That's for there. This one was held on there. for the starter. There was one for the ground here, and then this one goes on the bottom there. See, so I already lost one nut. Alright, fantastic. So, we'll make that up as we go later. I believe we need a 16 still for the main down here, but this power steering bracket's over that. There we go. Out of the way. It's holding the power steering line, and it's also holding this bracket for battery cable ground over the transmission. So, is in fact 16 on the bottom bolt also. Bottom one out first. Let's say I might have to go under there. I don't want to. To get my work clothes dirty. There. And I'll just keep the starter bolt with the starter. Starter is stuck in the transmission because it's not falling out yet. It's a long freaking bolt, man. Alright. Tools there. That was the top one, but it actually was the bottom one. Okay. There's a third bolt. Fantastic. Third bolt that is not a 16. That sounds like Volkswagen. Third bolt that is a 17 millimeter for no reason at all. Good job. That's why it's not fluffing out. There we go. Alright. See, now this power wire is starting to get in my way. So, go ahead and pull that power wire out of the way. That's probably also a 13. 16, 17, these are 16, 17, 19, 10, 13, yep, 13. Power wire, that ground's out of the way. Since I'm already losing stuff, I'm just going to put that nut right back there. That strap up out of my way. There we go. Now back to that over there. I'm on a 17 mil. Starter. There we go. Straighten it out. bit of rear main going on in there. That was something I didn't even think about yet. Rear main. So, since we're taking the, I don't know why I didn't think about that. I'm very busy lately. Didn't think about rear main, so apparently this will be the first intermission. I'm going to take 5 minutes and go see if they can source me a rear main seal before we go any further. My bad. Just didn't think about it. Piece of shit go in here. Oh, fancy. One of them goes into the motor mount, tranny mount, and one of them goes into the starter hole. That one's. That one's the tranny mount. And then starter bell housing, Okay. All right, well, I'm gonna take a quick break. Go get your popcorn, kids, and I'll be back in 5 minutes. Here. In case you just joined me. I am back with parts. So that's the rear main set for this motor. Luckily, they had it in stock. So, from what I'm seeing inside of here, all right, you can see that. Clean rag, oily rag. So there's a lot of oil going on in there. I don't know if it's from the transmission or from the, it looks like oil, but we'll see. Should do a rear main while you're in there anyway, I suppose. But we have that now. So on we go. Let's see. I'm just gonna go ahead and take the top bolts out while I'm here. Mark them. One, two. Let that dry for a minute. And then I'm probably have to pull this tire off and start digging in there, get that axle out. Luckily, it looks like these output shafts are the Volkswagen style axles where they're just bolted together like that. So I'm not going to have to pull the axle out. I'll have to unbolt it and move it off out of the way. I may have to move the control arm out of the way and get the axle clear that side. But the passenger side, if I can get there, there's a big housing cover on it. So this thing will have to go up in the air at some point. So I can get underneath there and unbolt those bolts. But the transmission should come off of that axle connection fairly easily. So then there's not a whole lot of work on that side, on the passenger side at least. We'll see, but that's in theory what's going to happen. So let me get these two bolts off, and then I guess we'll go down to the side here and start yarding out the tire and all that crap. Get underneath the front side, put some jack stands under it and crap. Yeah. Okay. Suspension on that. We need a breaker bar. Still got that 17. There's the 19. Not bad. Yeah, let's just break apart. No reason to hurt myself. Yeah. Goes up there. I want to drop that tranny mount over there. It's staring me in the face, but nothing good will come of that. All right. Let me set all my tools on the ground. Set them, not drop them, on the ground. And then we'll relocate the camera and get the jack stands out. All right. Going for a ride. Let's see. I have a nice tripod, but it's not a second person holding the camera for me, so you know, some assembly required. Let's see. Well, fucking, I don't know where to put you. Here, let's put you right there, I guess, so I can get right in your way. So if I remember correctly, those lug nuts on there do not like my star wrench, because this one's apparently in standard, and that's 17 mil, and that's too loose. So I gotta use a 15. I believe it's 15 mil. So we'll go into the box. I don't think it's 17. That might be wrong. No, 17. All right, cool. So, I'll find that extension and the breaker bar. Get this wheel loosened up while it's on the ground. God damn. I must have put those on. Holy crap. Yeah, I think I put those on when I did the brakes. That's a little excessive. Okay. Very good. I like my jack because it makes me feel like I'm at the ocean, because it sounds like a bunch of fucking seagulls. Hello? Hi. Can you hear me? Hey. Oh, no, that's fine. Oh, okay. No, I'm live streaming, so I have to answer with the watch at the channel. It's fine. It's not. Alright, I love you. Okay, I'm back. I'm live streaming with my phone, so I can't take phone conversations and stop the stream, because that'll just ruin it. I don't want a bunch of conversations or a bunch of live streams for one job. So it is what it is. So I try to schedule this job so that I don't have a lot of interference, and put myself in a position back here where I don't have a lot of people bothering me while I'm trying to work, so. I was thinking about doing this job out front. I'm sure that O'Reilly wouldn't appreciate me doing a clutch job in front of their door, but I have done it before. But I didn't think we should do that today. Jack stands for my safety. I know you guys want to see a car fall on me today. I don't. So you either use 2 jack stands or you use a jack and a jack stand. I've seen a lot of people on the Instagram there that I'm following. If you check out my Instagram and all the people I'm following. Anyway, those people, a lot of mobile mechanics, have proper setups. They use jack stands. They have some decent ones. Not these piece of crap Harbor Freight jack stands. They got some good ones. It's AC Delco. Not bad, not great. This AC Delco jack has actually lasted me quite a long time. Even though one of the pumps on one side just always sticks. And that's where that squeaking sound is coming from. But not the best jack stands actually had one of the lifts break. I think it was under vehicle when it did it too. So that's something that you want to buy quality. You want to buy quality jack and quality jack stands. You can Harbor Freight the rest of your tools, your sockets and your screwdrivers. Even screwdrivers, I'd buy a decent one. But your sockets or whatever you want to buy a Harbor Freight. What was it? It was Tony said, don't buy a ball joint press, or there's certain things, and the reason why you don't want to buy those. Yes, I'm going to take a minute here to explain something to you. The ball joint presses and things like that, separator tools that they sell at Harbor Freight, a lot of the tools aren't bad, but the screw, the threading on those, it's like an inch round bolt that they use to compress the tool together, and it's coarse thread, and it's not a tempered steel, it's a fairly soft steel. So as you go to torque down on it, as you know you'll need to remove things, separate things, the threading just strips out, either on the receiving side or on the threaded side, and I think it's usually on the receiving side. It's like a pot metal cast steel-ish that they use. Everybody on there was like, yeah, I got to use it one time, and then it bent. So certain things you just can't buy there, but you know, sockets and screwdrivers, a voltage tester. I bought my radiator pressure tester there. It came with a whole bunch of attachments for almost every vehicle, and it works, but you know, sometimes it doesn't fit, sometimes it wants to try to leak air. So you just got, it's temperamental. And that's what I get for buying cheap parts. So, hey, but when you're in a bind, man, I tell you, certain things you just have to do. So, anyway, now here's a learning curve for all you boys and girls out there. And I have the set, so we're gonna take another intermission. This Volkswagen, I'm gonna go ahead and bring you in because I hate this. Let me grab my flashlight. This is exactly why I need a truck set up again. You see, let's see if I can get you in there. This. See that 12-point square there? It's not a Torx bit. That's a 12-point square Volkswagen tool. So to get this off, you have to have that special tool. So luckily, I do my work near an O'Reilly, and I know they have a set of those on the shelf. I have a set of those, but unfortunately, it is in my box of shit. Not with me because I'm working out of a trunk, and I don't have room for all of this stuff. So again, back inside to get some tools. We'll be right back. Back in 5. Get some coffee. Smoke break. I don't smoke. It's smoke break. Here. Does that work? Free advertising. All right, I'm back. I think that's the. Anybody join me? Nope, one guy. All right, thanks for hanging in there. Anyway, here. Usually called triple square. Serrated bit set. This is the cheap $10 version. It should get us through this job. They have a larger set that's $56. I will buy when I retool the truck. But you know, you don't use these very often. But you're going to use them for like the bolts and the seats and stuff like that. On a Volkswagen and Audi, the bolts that hold the seat down, they're triple square. So it should be a 13 mil. And if you feel like it, you can run some electrical tape around there to hold it. It's probably, I think it's this one. Yep. It's that one and it wants to get stuck. So I'm gonna go ahead and tape that up. Get some more extension. Let's see. This axle out of the way. Right down here. Let's end up stripping this crappy cheap tool out and I'll have to go buy the $56 impact set anyway. Without turning this. Tools. And now the angle of the CV axle is getting in the way. The boot's getting in the way of removing bolts. So might be able to get this one out. Probably not. Probably have to rotate it. We will see. Other one. Gosh darn it. Okay. Sometimes you can get away with jamming a screwdriver in between the rotors there. Clutch ain't that slippy, so. trying to be extremely careful that I don't strip that tool out. There's a lot of grease inside the head of the bolt, so I don't want to strip a bolt or the tool. So I'm currently in no position to try to repair that. I don't have my welder here to try to help me on anything. I could get an extraction tool. I have a drill if I had to drill it out or something, but you know, we definitely don't want to be there. So, there we go. Now, there's no pressure against this. I figured. Alright. So, probably get away. I don't want to remove this nut just because I don't want to have to take all of this off. Rather just take this, rotate that forward. That should give us enough room. Well, crap. Maybe because the transmission has to come out that far anyway. That's going to be in the way. So this side does just have to come off. So I guess we'll be contending with that. So, let's jam something in there, spray that down, get a socket on there. Which I bet you I don't have that size socket. I have a 27, it may be a 32. Yeah, it's 32 or so. You can see all of the different tools that I just don't have anymore. And this is stuff I just don't do bigger jobs like this recently. Small operation out of a trunk, you got to pick your jobs wisely. And that's why I'm here at a parts store or close to it, so that when I do need this socket set, I can go get a rental tool. I don't have to carry it all the time with me. You know, they sell ball joint removal presses and presses for everything else too. You don't have to have all that stuff set up on your rig. You just have to know when you're going to need that for that job. You can go rent the tool. It's not a big deal. So, going to need a larger socket set, or probably a 32. I don't think I need to remove the rotor or anything yet. That. Let me get in there real quick and see if that even comes free. Holy crap, that shock's loose. What the hell? That seems normal. Yeah, there's too much pressure on it that way, so I'll just have to pull this away from it. Figure if I take these two bolts off the shock tower, I can probably roll this forward enough, down enough. I should be able to get it clear enough to pull this axle out of the housing, to get that out of the way. And we can continue, get underneath there and start pulling out some bolts for the transmission cross member and stuff like that. Because most everything else is just in the back underneath the clutch here. And then the transmission. And then once we get all those tranny bolt, the mount bolts, things like that, this other axle out of the way, it just fall on the ground. So need to get that out. So usually I'll just sacrifice a screwdriver and hold it in place there and rotate that out if it cooperates. Let's see if I'm going to need anything else. I don't think so. Let me climb under there and take a look. See if we're going to need anything else. Got some shift linkage, the other side of this. Axle, which is going to be a fun nightmare to get to. Tranny mount will be a little fun, but the axle out of the way should be no problem. It's the only mount I'm seeing under here, then one up front here, and the one up front here we've already disconnected. So this transmission should just fall right out. Oh, there's one bolt back here on this axle, and that's it, just one bolt here. So I'll get that. The access plate. I'm gonna take the access plate off. It's 210mm. I need a wrench for that. Might be tying it up anyway. I'm wrong, it's an 11. I need an 8mm. You gotta have an 8mm box end wrench. I've needed one 3 times in the last week and had to make do not having one. Probably a 3/8 also while you're at it. That's just the only other size that doesn't match up is 3/8. Yeah, it's an 11. Fucking screwballs. There's some oil down here, I think. Could be old oil, could be new oil. I don't know. Zero clearance there. Bear with me. All right. Let me go get some sockets real quick. So, sorry. That's probably why I made a sign, huh? Be right back. Back in 4 minutes. I don't know. Alright, I hope I'm not losing y'all with all these brakes, but you know, if anybody was actually watching my video inside, they could provide better customer service. It's a 30. It's a 30 millimeter, in case you're wondering. Alright, let's get to it here. 30 millimeter. Oh, it doesn't like doing that. Okay. Well, that little tiny bolt does not hold the rotor in place. Maybe. Maybe the lug nuts do. Maybe. Maybe you'll want to loosen up that bolt while the tire is still on it. I would. That's just me, though. You don't want to be struggling trying to fix this, you know, halfway through the job. Alright, smart ass. Break the rotor or something. Oh, mother God! Damn! Alright. Jeez. Winning the battles. Hammer. Now when you're doing this, make sure that there's a chamfer on the end of this, big enough to not mushroom this thing, and definitely do not hit it hard enough to mushroom it, because you will get really fucking annoyed having to go back here and grind off the first couple of threads to get that nut back on there. You could leave the nut on there, and that could also go sideways on you and mess up the rest of the threading. So maybe sacrifice an extension and center it so that you don't mushroom it out. Luckily, it moved. Alright, I'm gonna take these top two. Let me see what I got for the control arm on the bottom. Okay, so good news is this is this one is I lose my 13 mil short. I lost my short 13 mil. Did I have it out already? I don't think so. Lower ball joint on this is bolted on, so that can just easily be unbolted and shouldn't affect the alignment. I'm gonna see if it's 12. Hopefully it's 12. No, it's 13. Ah, damn it. All right, well, I can't find my short 13. So it looks like I'm gonna have to steal this from my tool. For the moment. This probably isn't a video of how to do this. This may end up just being a video about how to work with what you have, and if you can't make something work, what do we do? Well, this is what we do. So if you're a seasoned mechanic watching this, which you probably aren't, but if you are, you're probably laughing your ass off at all of the stupid shit that I'm doing. And maybe. But if you're not a seasoned mechanic, maybe whatever the hell I'm doing right now is helping you. I don't know. Hopefully it is. Otherwise, I'm just talking to myself. Which I do on occasion. But it's more entertaining pretending somebody is watching me. And at least learning something. I have no idea what the hell you'd be learning, but that's on you. I have to make sure I contort myself in the most awkward position possible for the sake of the video. We need to invent a mechanic's pillow. So I can take a nap down here. So before you get this third one off of here, good idea to check if there's any load on this. There's not, but you want to make sure. You don't want something flying off, especially if you're laying under there, just fucking destroying your face. All right, there's that. We don't want to lose this washer either, so I'm gonna grab a magnet, weasel that out of there. Socket, nut, and that should be loose. Axle came out. Be able to push that through. Fight it a little bit. Come on. And luckily, this one came out. I'll probably re-grease that, yeah. Sometimes you have to remove the tie rod end to get that to swing out far enough, but sometimes you luck out. So, all right, we got that. Now, we're gonna go into a position where you probably won't be able to see me doing a whole hell of a lot. See if I can get a good vantage point here. Camera. Nope. I guess just fucking staring through the hole. So we get that far, I guess. Yeah. Can't kill the live stream because somebody might want to watch it. I don't know. Anyway, here, let me pull you off of here and show you what I'm gonna do here in the next few minutes. There's some, I can't fucking see it. There's some linkage. There's a cotter pin holding the linkage on there for the transmission. It's also got a cotter pin there and there. Shift rods back there. There's a couple shift rods and the linkage for the clutch. There's a bolt underneath that axle down there. There's the 6 bolts on that axle over there. And there's this transmission mount here. A couple of bolts here. And then the front transmission mount is already loose. So basically, I'm gonna get all the linkage and everything I can back here done and that axle. And then I'm gonna come to the front and I'm gonna jack up the transmission and take this out once all the bell housing bolts are done. And then this thing should just literally fall on the ground. So in the meantime, I'm just gonna have to put you here until we get to that point. So bear with me. I'm sure that clutch will be carnage. Let's see. So, yepper. Hang in there. I'm gonna climb under there and start working on this thing. Let me get something more relevant. Alright, so that motor mount. That motor mount holds the shift linkage and we get this cotter pin here. Turned up out of the way. Okay, maybe not that. Just that part of it. Let me get a pry bar. Screwdriver. Where's my screwdriver? Right. I'm trying to get this bracket pivot off without, it's on a ball joint, but it's plastic and I don't want to break it, but I got to get it off of that mount. Doing a lot of flexing. Not coming off yet. Let's try the other side. Yeah, I'm worried. I don't want to break it. Let me see. Oh, it has a very interesting lock mechanism on it. It's just so greasy you can't see it. There we go. That opens that guy up. That should come right off. It probably would have. There we go. Probably would have, but I probably would have broke it too. So that comes off of that for the transmission. The linkage here, I still got to remove that cotter pin, or there's a C-clip on. There's a better cotter pin on the other side. It's not rusted in there. There we go. One of these guys. Put that down there. That's loose. That stuff goes onto that mount. Let's see. Let's get that. Oh shit. Let's get that mount. The training mount on that side. It's got one bolt in from the top, but the mount itself is part of the frame. The standoff for it. So that mount that connects to the transmission actually has to come out. So that the transmission can move out a little bit. Let's see. And they're bolted in with, I think, 10s from the back side. So, yeah, 12s, 10, 12. I don't know. They don't look like 13s. Let's try 12. I guess it could be a 13, but yeah, they've been screwy on me. No, it is a 13. No, doesn't look like it. Now would be a really good time to know where my short 13mm socket went. Which I probably lost on another job. Probably fell into a car somewhere. Well, let's see now. That's just not gonna work. I have to have a short 13 for that one. Holy crap. So I think we're gonna probably end up using a wrench on that one. That goes through the mount. Okay. And I'll probably end up having to use a box wrench on that one then, if it'll fit. Alright. So, one mount bolt, put those over there, and I need the box and wrench. I just is gonna get to that point where I'm gonna have to go get a 13mm socket. Yeah. Looks like it. Let's see. We'll get that on there. Quarter turn. Not even. Not even a quarter turn. It broke loose. I might be able to get it with the open end. I won't be able to use 2 wrenches to pry on it, but come on. Oh, might have to go from the top. If I can even see it. Where is it? break it loose, and I'll show you what I'm dealing with, I guess. Yep, that doesn't want to come out. Oh, fantastic. Let's see, I think I have a backup. There we go. I got a backup 13. It's a Xeon for removing rounded off nuts and bolts. One click at a time. Oh! No, it didn't break. I don't think it broke. Did it break? Oh, what's going on? What's going on? I'm worried. Nope, it's just starting to come loose. Let me share with you where I'm at here. I'm up there, and there wasn't enough room for a long socket because it was hitting that. I'm trying to get that bolt. It goes through the back of the transmission, and on the other side is the mount. And then it's this mount here. There's a bolt on the top of that I gotta take off. This mount has to come out because it's up against the transmission, and that will not allow the transmission to come out this way, because this standoff for that motor mount, transmission mount, is part of the frame. So this is gonna stay in here, and I only have, well, this clears it. This clears that just a little bit this way. But I'll only have a couple inches there to move this forward, and it'll come out this way. So that's what I'm fighting right now. But I was able to get it loosened up. Not quite hand loose yet. This is going to be a long video, so I think that once I get the transmission married back in, splined up to the new clutch, I think I'm going to cut it off there. We'll probably be at 2.5 hours at that point, because there probably won't be as many surprises going back in as there was coming out. And I'm sure that you can play the video backwards and figure out how to put it back together. Okay, so there are 3. There's one on the top also. That's the one that we're gonna fight from the top. Let's see. See if I can get that one real quick. looks like there's one of everything in my way there. Mostly that. Yeah. Mostly that coolant crossover pipe for the heater core. That's mostly in the way. Yeah, that's absolutely in the way. Every bit of it's in the way. Try this trick. Okay. All right, speaking of what you need to do when you got to do it, there's a bolt right there, and I don't have a lot of room to turn anything because this crossover pipe's in the way and there ain't enough room to go in the back. So what I'm doing is I'm setting it, and then to break it loose, I'm going to take my pry bar, get it right in there, and hammer my pry bar as that pushes it back, and then quarter it, and that'll loosen it up enough. Hopefully I can get a small wrench in there, the small socket in there, and get it out the rest of the way. But to start breaking it loose, I'm just gonna have to hammer that. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. You gotta be careful because you don't want to roll off of the bolt and strip it. So you just get to the point where you can push it by hand. There we go. At that point, you should be able to use the small socket, small ratchet, which I also have misplaced. Got it. All right. There we go. Just hand tight, coming out. Got it. All right. Crisis averted. 3 bolts there. I should be loose. Seems like it. Well, yeah, it's loose. All right. So there's things attached to it for the linkage for shifting. Shit falling in my eye. But I'm going to take the top bolt out of it like I stated, and I'm going to tie it up out of the way for now. Hopefully that works. If I can get to the top bolt. Should be. Ooh, maybe. There's brake lines in the way of that one. Let's say 17. See about getting a wrench on it. It is not a 17, it's that 16 again. Try a short 16 socket. Bad angle. Maybe you can get to it from here. I grab the wrong socket. Got a fucking 15 or something. Keep your box organized. is it just a 17? Maybe it's just a 17. I like working upside down and trying to figure out which way is loose and tight. Oh, there's absolutely no room for that maneuver. Yeah, fucking A. All right. The 17 wrench just seems really loose on there. Such a bad angle too. I don't know what I can do about it. Yeah. Nothing now. I don't think I can do anything about it now. It's just gonna end up ruining that motor mount. So then there's 3 bolts. There's 3 bolts to hold the mount to, maybe 3? I don't know, to hold it to that stand-up. I don't want to twist the mount in half and break it. Let's see. No, there's 2. There's 2 that may be accessible. They look like they're 1/2 inch. Let's see, where's that 13? Let me try a wrench on that. Let's see. Can you see? Are we here? Where are we at? Focus off? Fucking focus is way off. What are you doing? That one right there. It is a 1/2 inch. It's 13 mil probably. My 1/2 inch wrench doesn't like to go on there. Get that on there good. Might be able to get that out of the way. I don't know. There we go. So far, this car has been one of those, the bolts are pretty tight to start with, but once you get them loosened up, it seems to cooperate mostly. So it's dirty, but it's not like a Prius. It's not corroded throughout where the bolt fights all the freaking way out. But I guess it's not horribly old either, so. It's just little things like this with the no clearance and stuff. This is the what take up all the time when you're trying to do something in a hurry or save yourself some time. Definitely not a quick and easy water pump or a alternator job or something that you can make a decent little profit off of. This is a job. This is a job you might just want to do in a shop too. Not everybody wants to be out here on the ground doing this specific type of job. then again, I also don't want to be inside dealing with customers, and don't want to be inside at all, but I don't want to be inside dealing with customers and standing behind a counter. So I enjoy this much more, for what it's worth. So now that one's gonna fight me. Let me get a different angle. If I'm on the right one. It is, it's just fighting me now. Let's see if I can get another extension on there, or rather a different. That's one reason why I like that ratchet. Rebuild it while I'm in the middle of using it. Oh. There we go. And then I can get it out of the way. This freaking cotter pin digging into my hand. Hopefully, moving that mount helps make some kind of difference, and hopefully I can find that bolt that just dropped. There it is. Okay, good. All right, mount's loose. It's got a piece of linkage connected to it. I'm going to benefit from removing whatever the linkage is. Alright, it's got that same kind of weird ball joint connected to it, so pop it open, pop it off. Just remember where it goes when I'm done. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Now, that was that. So should just be this front mount and that bell housing bolt on the other side, which I do believe was a 17. So let me get that, and then I'll get you something relevant to watch. Let's see, there's no housing bolts over here or there. This one, no, it's a 19. to make it an 18 just because they're fucking dicks. Shit. Fuck. It's separating from the motor. It's gonna drop the motor on me. I still got that other axle though. So that's six bolts on that other axle I could probably get to from here. And then I don't know, I think that's all of them. There's probably one hiding up top where I can't fucking see it, like right here. Somewhere like right here where I can't see it, but I don't see any from the backside, so I'm thinking that's it. Let me get this axle done, taken off, and then yeah, forgot about the axle. Let me get the axle out of the way, and then we'll move on. Can't get the camera under there. Let's see what the hell I'm doing, but yeah, you get the gist of it. I'm taking the other one of them axles off. I don't know why this thing can't fucking focus on anything. Taking after me. Taking after me. You can't focus on anything. Alright, I have. There's my other. So I have one extension. Oh, fuck. Oh, I screwed myself because I can't rotate this axle over here now. Well, I can, but. Definitely not as fun as the other side. See if I can get out all of these without rotating the axle. That's gonna strip that tool. That's where a short third chain comes in handy too. I'm trying to tighten it. See, that's what I'm talking about being upside down. I'm trying to tighten the damn bolt. There we go. Yes, you want to loosen it, not tighten it. Push the boot out of the way. Push the CV boot out of the way so you don't damage it while you're dragging the bolt past it. I would like to have a video where I can show you everything that I'm doing and walk you through it. I'm going to put out a couple of videos here at the beginning of next week. I already have them all recorded. Doing an intake manifold on a 2014 Porsche Panamera. Completely different. Panamera. Intake manifold and a no start on an old Jeep Wrangler, the 350 small block, and I got that Chevelle. Dan's waiting on the transmission. So those things are more relevant that you can actually see things that I'm doing. Unfortunately, this is my livelihood, and crawling underneath these things and doing jobs like this is what pays the bills. I just thought I would invite you along today because I have not put out a video in a while, and it's nice to stay on the radar. You know, let all you guys know I'm still alive, because I haven't put out a video because I'm working my ass off. But I've been trying to record things while I'm working. But literally, I'm working from 7 a.m. to dark. So it's just really hard to record and edit everything. I know, you guys know. Editing takes a few hours every video, and I don't have a few hours at any given time. Sit down and edit these things. I wish I did. I wish I could get to the point where it was helping me, you know, make some money so that I could take my time on some of these jobs and walk you through how to do them better. That's my ultimate goal. I want to be able to make educational type videos. That was the original plan. While you're sitting here upside down trying to take a bolt out, now's a good time to look at stuff like that bushing over there for that shift linkage that looks like it's blown out. Make a mental note of that for a future repair, because I can get to that without taking the transmission out again. So, all right, there's 3 of them. I get to 4. Yeah, I get to 4. Maybe. Holy crap. There we go. Damn. I expected more people to come out here and give me crap. I guess I'm just becoming too difficult to deal with lately. Nobody wants to be around. I don't blame them. I'm probably not the nicest person to be around when I'm working on cars. Maybe I'm just not a nice person at all. Oh well. That's all right. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. There's probably one person still watching. Eating some popcorn. And I appreciate you for being here. If there's more than one, you should be talking crap about me to each other, entertaining yourselves. Or it's such a nice day, it depends on where you are, I guess. It's such a nice day, you should be out working on your own car. It depends on where you are. Or what time of day it is for you. I guess it could be 2 in the morning and you could be really bored and decided that you wanted to watch this stupid guy on YouTube. Whatever. Yeah, we're having a problem with this bottom one here. Maybe. Maybe I should get a screwdriver in there and hold tension on it so I don't strip my tool. Jeez. Okay. Nope. She doesn't want to participate. Okay. The other way about this is I'm gonna get some gloves. I don't want to get all my shit dirty. Yeah, if it's slightly low, go ahead and top it off. So far, so good. Yay. All right. Let's see. Let me bring you back up here. I only have that one. I'll show you what I was gonna do. I forgot about this, but bear with me. It's a tripod. Okay. Anybody there? One person there. 2 hours. You're persistent. Okay. Where are we at here? Let's go back to wide angle, I guess, right? There we go. Let me get my gloves on, I'll show you what I was going to do. So I'm having a problem with one of the bolts on the bottom of that axle because it angles down just enough to where I can't get Let me see what's going on here. Okay, I can't get a socket and everything. It's too long, basically. So these are 13 mil. So what I'll go ahead and do is like cut this damn thing off again. Should be able to lock the 13 on there like that, and if I have to, I'll just use the box wrench like that, and then I can get that in there, at least get us started. So that should work. I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then I think, again, I said there might be one bolt on the top here. I don't see any other bolts. Like, I honestly think we're loose. I think we're just hanging from this motor mount here, training mount. So let me get under there and get that one, and then we'll get back up here, and we should be able to drop this sucker down. Yay! All right, that one's coming out. Okay. So just gonna let that axle flop, and then when we go to put it back in, we'll have to be careful to set that axle back in while we're setting the transmission into. But now we need to support the engine. Oh yeah. How's it going?
You don't have this thing out yet?
I'm making a video, you know. It takes time to talk to the one person watching. Yeah, it's trying to separate.
Where's your pry bar?
Pry bar? It's still got a motor mount, a training mount holding it.
Training mount.
I know, training mount and training. This one here. So
Drop it down low. Hit it with the impact. All done spells.
probably a 17. Yep. I don't have impact.
Old school.
Yeah. We were talking about that earlier. By we, I mean me.
Talking to yourself
Talking
about it.
Talking to myself.
You know, I always heard you get the best answers that way. Are you gonna argue with yourself?
I was under there arguing with myself for a little while.
That's a good investment.
I have one person that stuck with me for this 2.5 hours.
Who was it?
No.
Griffin was watching it inside.
Griffin was?
Yeah.
Was he giving me shit?
I just heard it. I heard you talking to yourself.
Griffin's in there. What the fuck is this idiot doing? Alright. This should be at the point where it will literally fall on the ground.
You could just put your put that tire under there, under the jack.
Oh, there is a tire. Hey.
And then you can just drop it into the tire and drag it out.
I'm just gonna drop it on the ground and drag it out.
That too. If it cracks, it cracks. Not a big deal.
JB Weld. Let's see. There it is, right there. Ta-da! Alright, here we go. Now I could use a pry bar. However, the motor isn't supported yet. Now it is. Break anything?
Right on the distributor.
Yes.
Who cares?
It's just a distributor. Alright.
Just drop the jack all the way.
It's got a center shaft that holds it on there, right?
We'll figure it out later. Getting caught up right here.
Where? Nope. That's all free.
No, when you pull it, it's flexing up against the
Oh.
mount. You gotta pull it back, backwards.
May have a bolt in it.
It's not free moving. Yeah.
Oh, it's hitting that fucking motor mount. Son of a bitch!
All right.
Fine. It's just the motor mount hitting. Motor mount, tranny mount, whatever. These two, sitting for trying to take shortcuts and just leave stuff on. Alright, so yeah, that's free. Now it should. Now it should be able to slide out. That's not in the way. It's that way. So, if I'm correct, which I'm probably not, it should fall. unsuccessfully trying to find center of mass here, so it doesn't fall too hard. I wonder if this is gonna play like the Cabrio. Oh. I wonder if this is gonna play like the Cabrio. Now it's hanging up on that crossover pipe. Yeah, I forgot to bend that out of the way. I was wondering if it's gonna play like the Cabrio, and I gotta rotate the transmission and pull it out, but I think it's just hanging up on that crossover pipe. Dangerous. I just didn't want to disconnect the cooling system. Yeah, it's definitely. No. Because it went back into its fucking bracket hole. Damn it. Stupid thing. Okay. Screwdriver. Under the tripod. There it is. Get that off of there. Okay. Touching that. Seems better. Wasn't hanging up on that. It's not hanging up on that axle. Seems like something wants to hang up. Hanging up on the clutch. Plate. Whoops. Yeah, it's like the Corrado, it's got to rotate. Yay! So,
Well, you gotta pull it up and
it's catching on the backing plate.
Get a bigger pry bar.
Thanks for the help. Great. It's hanging up on the backing plate with the output shaft from the passenger side, like a Corrado. Which I was hoping it wouldn't do, obviously. I might be able to disconnect the plate. Hey, this is unscripted TV, man. That's what happens. That does not be beneficial. Let me go look underneath there. Should just fall right out. What is it catching on here? Nothing there. That backing plate there, which I think is bolted to the motor, bending the backing plate. Actually, as much fun as that seems to be, that output shaft seems to be in the way of the flywheel completely. So the backing plate will have to come off in order to straighten it out, but I got to do the rear main anyway. It looks like it's supposed to come off with it. It looks like it's just sticky. So Get a pry bar under the bottom side and a screwdriver. And see if I can't free this thing up a little bit. Oh, where'd my pry bar go? Are you looking at it and I just can't see it? Gotta set it down there. There it is. You're staring right at it. All right. There it goes. It was just being stubborn. Okay, now I'm stuck under here. So, this is fucking sucks. Okay. It was coming out. Oh, God bless Volkswagen. Fucking thing was coming out. That's the holdup. I think it. Yeah. It does have to turn like the Corrado. Yay! Alright. So. It's got to rotate. Somehow. All that has to rotate up this way to get around that motor mount. Rotate this way. Rotate this way. There it goes. Okay. Yes. I hate this design. fantastically clean inside the transmission, I'm sure. Very interesting design there. Here, I'll show you what's going on. Go back inside, I guess. Now we got that out of the way. So, it's pretty dirty inside there, I'd say. But at least we got it out. I've never quite seen a setup like that. Even on the Corrado, it was different than that setup. So it was a standard clutch system. So let's get you set up over here, I guess, and we'll start disassembling that. And I'm near a restaurant that's selling really good food, and I can't have any because I'm busy. All right. Yes, this job probably shouldn't take this long, but you know what? I'm recording and taking breaks too. Does not want to focus properly. There. Pissing me off with the focus. Go in widescreen. All right. I'm going to get in there and start taking that out so I can get the rear main taken care of. So I think we need a 12.10 if I have one. I just had that right up here. Get this dirty transmission out of my way. This is a dirty, dirty job. All right. You guys can see what's going on. No, it's not a 10. Ha. What is it? We had the same issue before. It's a 12.9. Which I did have out here a few minutes ago. I have a 6.9, not a 12.9. So I figure it's probably time for me to take a bathroom break or something. So it's 12.9, which I don't have. And yes, so break time. I'll be back in about 5 minutes. Don't go anywhere. Yes, keep it on that. Oh, the focus is fucking bothering me though. No? Okay. See, it's trying to get the foreground. Here, hang on. Try this. I'm telling it to lock in. There we go. That works better. Cool. Be right back. Well, that's odd. O'Reilly doesn't have a 3/8 drive 9mm socket, but they have a 3/8 drive 3/8 socket, which probably won't work. Nope, that'll strip it. But they have a 9mm wrench, and luckily I have clearance to get that in there. So let's do that. As long as we don't roll it. Now that's the other problem. So let's get the crankshaft locked down. If we can. Ow. Maybe. There's not a lot of room in there for that crankshaft bolt, honestly. See if I can get a socket on that thing. $22. Is it not 22? No, 22 doesn't fit in there. 21, but let's see. I believe my 21 is a 6-point, and it looks like it's a 12-point, but I don't know what size it is. Let's see. And the only other 12-point I have is 18, and that's not it. Maybe a 19. I doubt it. Probably a 21. Here's a 19. Oh, it's a 19. Well, I can work with that. Okay. So, it's going to be a 19. I'll have to use a short extension right there by the camera. Okay. Set in there. Okay, good. Now, hold that in while I rotate that. There we go. There we go. Get all these guys loose. Thank goodness that's working out. I say, man, you just gotta. We gotta work with what we have. Probably want to rotate that around. I'm not worried about warping any of this because we got new parts. I don't think you could warp this thing anyway. It's pretty stout. I'm curious as what's going on behind here because I've never seen this style of flywheel and such before. 3 at a time here. Okay. Whoops. Engine compression. Let's just take it around so I can get all of them. Right there. That one's loose. That one's loose. Ow! That one's loose. Get these, the pressure plate's starting to push out. Yes, in a situation like this, a drill, so there's plenty of room. Situation like this, a drill or air would definitely be handy. Oh, you know, that camera's probably aimed wrong. There we go. But I also suppose that that would be contingent upon the fact that they'd have a 9mm socket. This is going to be the only job in the next year that I'm going to use a 9mm socket wrench for. And I know it. All right, we're getting there. You and me, buddy. You're the only one watching. It's just you and me now. Thing. I don't know what's gonna happen here. Well, that side's heated up from me scoring her up, but yeah, she's heated more so than before I tried. So that looks beautiful. That's all from before. Most of that's from before. There's some heat scoring there. It was time. Definitely time. starting to make sense. This is scaring me at this point because this looks like it's spring-loaded. Fucking Volkswagen. Should I be worried? I'm worried about how it's gonna go back together. Or if I should even take it apart. Shit. So this is what we're looking at here, right? This is what we're looking at. And these are the bolts on the back side into the crankshaft, I'm assuming, and they're off center, so it only goes on one way. But the only way to get where our fork went for our fucking clutch. I gotta find the fork. The only way to get to the bolts there is gonna be to pop this ring off and let this come out. It's the only way I'm seeing it. I'm gonna stand back and pop that loose. I hope I don't kill the camera. I hope this ain't spring loaded. Ooh. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense now. That's a throwout bearing of sorts. Okay. Well, that's not bad at all, except for that. 17 maybe, and I got a breaker bar for that. So it's 17 and a 19. 17, it's a 17. 17. I don't know if the breaker bar is going to hold up against my 3/8 on that crankshaft. So what I'll do from down here. What I'll do is I'll hammer on this, try to impact it. Because if I try to torque on them, might end up loosening up that crankshaft bolt, and then you'll be fucked. So, yeah, may just be fucked. Well, they're cooperating so far. I guess I shouldn't have said that till I was done, right? I'm only halfway there. Look. Shit. Fantastic. And if I did have power tools, I wouldn't have the time to sit here and enjoy what I'm doing. Or prolong the agony of working on a Volkswagen. I could be done with this, and then I'd be telling customers, I'm sorry, I don't work on Nissan or Prius. Okay. You have to be patient and diligent. That's why we're still here and haven't drove it off a cliff yet. Keep those ones clean. Those are for the flywheel. It's a flywheel, but it's not, because this is where the flywheel is supposed to go, but they put a pressure plate here. That's interesting, I guess. I'm gonna have to look at that that backing plate and see if I can straighten it out. Alright. Don't worry, my other videos have time lapse in them where you don't have to sit here and deal with me the whole time. But since this job is taking so long and all my other jobs are still in line, it probably won't be out till... Wow. Probably won't be out till Tuesday or Wednesday, if that, because I have so much to do. We need the 10mm socket that I just misplaced. Ratchet up here. So our other ratchet is being used. I can go ahead and utilize this fandangled thing. I guess I didn't bend that up too much. Hey, what are you doing? So there's going to be that, and it's going to connect to the pan for the rear main. It's hard to say at this moment if it's the rear main that's leaking all of this oil, which it kind of indicates that it is, or it could be the oil pan. I would go ahead and assume it was the rear main, being that it's all up here too, but it could be coming out the pan here and catching the flywheel and going up. Let's see. Yeah, doesn't Doesn't look like a rear main to me. But it's getting one anyway. Because I'm not doing it twice. When in Rome. Well, this is what you came for, right? You came to see the rear main seal. That's what it looks like. That's the rear main. Take a picture now. Take a screenshot. It's the rear main seal on a Volkswagen Cabrio. Oh, you son of a bitch. Oh. Damn it, Jim. Oh. God. Oh. That short extension. What'd you do with that short extension? Oh, I think the short extension is holding on the other on the other wrench. So whatever. Tips and tricks. When doing front and rear main style things, timing chain covers. Cleaning up the gasket here is going to try to separate, so you got to be careful there. You can use brake clean to spray in between the gasket and try to keep it from tearing. Or it looks like it's a Permatex type. Looks a pretty good gasket there. It looks like a rubber gasket. So, but if we can, once we get it up, try to get sealant underneath the gasket to the oil pan, and then sealant on the top half of that also, just so it reseals properly. Oh yeah, this is pinned, so it's got to come straight off. So if it's going to want to tear that gasket, we're going to have a fun time. Fun time in Trouble Town. Seems to be moving okay. Yeah, see, now that is where problems come in, because this might come straight off, but getting it to go straight back on without rolling the gasket is why I don't work on Nissans. Give it some oomphination here. All right, there we go. Pin separated. Oh, whoa! That is a different type of rear main seal. Factory, maybe? Oh, hope we don't have a problem. Well, let's look at that. Jesus criminy. It's gonna be that split ear that's gonna kill me, right? Oh, son of a bitch. Let's go look at the diameter of that gasket. See if it fits in this fucking housing. Because what they found me they found me this thing, and this is what we're looking at. That looks like a replacement part for it. I think so. 2 separate pieces as opposed to one, but I'm gonna go ahead and have to open this up and find out. Yeah, that looks a little bit too different. Let me see here. Ah, that's weird. It says it fits this engine, but that's a floating rear main seal. Well, guess it's intermission time again. I'm sorry, but these things happen. So is life. Okay, so we're here and we see what's going on, but I think I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna clean this up. Obviously, I'll go ahead and I'll record some of it. I'll just make a quick video montage of me putting all this shit back together. But see what's going on here. So this is a fancy one-piece rear main, and it's obviously riveted together here. I destroyed it, but I was able to find a replacement. It'll be here in about 45 minutes. I'm not going to make you wait. The one that I had, the kit, had the rear main here, and it had a flat paper gasket that went behind there. The problem we're going to have is these have standoffs that stick out about 1/16 or so of an inch, and I'm not going to put a paper gasket on that and have a big gap in between there and have to fill that all in with silicone and hope to hell that it sticks. So we're going to get the right part for the job, which is just one whole piece right here, and luckily I was able to source it close enough. So I'll just take a break, I'll charge up my phone, clean all this up while I'm waiting for the part, silicone that new part on, and then installation is the reverse of dismantling with less bitching. And I'll grease up these axles here, you know, do what I can. So I'll spare you the fun of putting this all back together, but thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll have some videos for you here in the next week or so. Maybe I'll take this 45 minutes to try to edit one of my shorter videos and get that thrown up on there. But whoever is watching, thank you for watching this wonderful abstrosity. Oh, have a fantastic day, and that it is what it is. I will get it done today, but took longer than I wanted to. Can't bitch. We're outside, it's nice and sunny. Got all new parts. Gonna do it right. It's gonna work great. And again, I'll throw together a montage video of me putting it all together and driving it, smoking the tires off. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, whatever. So, all right, thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Watch my videos, subscribe, throw dollars out the window, whatever you want to do.